I think we may have to end up standing here so that the people at the back can see us. And by experienced, I think you mean oldest. Yes, welcome to Ottawa. First of all, how was your day?
Pretty good.
And what did you?
Is my mic on?
No.
He's new at this.
No, does it work? Does it work? Here we go. Not bad. Normally I would fail with it. I can only bad touch with technology. If you ever want to have your laptop breaking down, give it in my hands for like 20 seconds. So my day started very early or it ended very late. Flight was delayed, so I came at 2:30 to the airport. And I had a really grim-looking officer asking me a whole bunch of extra questions. You know, like when you get all the normal people like, well, yeah, you go pick up your luggage. Like, no, sir, you go left and wait for this gentleman there. He didn't seem to be too happy with me, so. But I'm here, so I don't know, 3:30 maybe, it wasn't bad. Yeah, I guess. So they finished late, but now it was a beautiful day. I had time to squeeze in a 45-minute run from the Fairmont Hotel. Yeah, the chateau, went down to the water, behind the Parliament building, behind the War Museum, and then there is this little railroad bridge, which, I mean, there was this huge, this huge portion of fence missing, so I thought it is kind of official, so I did run across there. There's a little island there in the river, right? So I ran across there. I met about 20 people there, so I thought it would be legal to use that bridge. I mean, there's no more trains going there, so I had a beautiful run. Awesome city. It's a beautiful city, I have to say, and you know, with the sunshine, it just makes things look really pretty always. So it was a good day.
Good. So you've been retired now from professional cycling since 2014. You've obviously got a lot of inside knowledge on what goes on in the peloton, and I know there's a lot of secrets that go on, and the guys that I ride with, we talk about this one an awful lot, and your name comes up. And I think we should get it out of the way before anything goes further. Do you use a razor or Nair to smooth your legs?
The razor.
And what does the rest of the peloton?
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I think we're also simply afraid of all the chemicals in there. But I know we use, I mean, a little bit like a more expensive, like more sophisticated model than this. But yes,
oh, the 5-blade one.
Yeah, no, I think I got stuck with the 3-blade one, and I thought, well, it does the job, so I don't update it anymore from there on.
Good. Can you take us through a day in a stage race from wake up in the morning to end of day? It's got to be unbelievably grueling every day.
Well, I hope you guys did bring enough time. Like all these questions, they are no yes or no questions.
No.
Okay.
They're later. They're later. When we go on,
the most important factor is the start time of the race. So let's say the race starts at noon. All right. Then that means 3 hours before is breakfast or the last meal. So that means at 9 is the big meal. So if you want, you can wake up at 7, go to brekkie, come back for pasta at 9. I like to sleep in, so I normally only went for the muesli and pasta all together. Then probably then brekkie at 9:30 suitcase ready. So somebody comes. Life as a pro cyclist, apart stupid bike riding, the life as a pro cyclist is actually not too bad. Somebody comes and picks up the suitcase. You know, we just leave it out of the door, and then somebody comes to pick it up. Then 9:30 suitcase, 9:45 in the bus, driving to the start. First thing we do when we come to the start area, meeting about the day, about the race, the stage. Then everybody goes for sign-on. They like us to go together for sign-on as a team. And then, yeah, after sign-on, you give the family a quick call, tell them, okay, I gotta go racing. Look at the race book, try to memorize the mountains, or you prepare this little piece of tape where you write down all the kilometers for the KOM, like King of the Mountains, or the sprints and all that. Well, go to the start, talk with some friends, you know, in the peloton, some fellow Germans, or you check on people you crashed the day before, you go, hey, how are you today? No, just out of friendship, you know, I mean, if you're in front of treasure, the next day you go, hey, how are you feeling today, you know, are you okay? But it's not funny, you just try to show some sympathy for the poor guy that crashed.
Generally, it is funny.
So, yeah, then you start the race. Normally my job was always cover like the first break. So I would just have like one more big muesli bar or energy bar in the neutral zone. So I would be ready at the start. I wouldn't need to eat anything for the first hour because that's where all the attacks happen and it's where I have to go fill gas all the time. So then we finished the race also in the bigger races the order of the team was don't talk to anybody, come straight to the bus, cool down, and then you can go out again, talk to the press because sometimes when you finish the race, all the oxygen is still in the legs, and not too much is up here. So sometimes people say the truth, but that's not always what the team wants to hear. So they go, why don't you just come back? And sometimes you have some things happen during the race, so then they like to give you a little briefing of what happened and what they would like to hear out there. Plus, sometimes you also want to just go and get some fresh clothes, right? I mean, you are just sitting, in your race clothes and either being cold in the rain or sweating in the sun, so you want to change. So go to the bus, and then they had 2 bottles there for you. One was a recovery protein shake, and one was just with basically vitamins and minerals in there because they told us, or I think it's common knowledge, after a harder effort, the first 30 minutes is crucial for your intake, for your recovery for the next day. Whatever you put in your body the first 30 minutes after a hard effort counts just counts double than whatever you eat afterwards. Well, then you sit in the bus and in the ideal scenario you wait for the stage winner from your team and you're happy that one of you guys won the stage or took the yellow jersey. So it takes a moment for that person to arrive with press conference and all that. Driving to the hotel, sometimes an hour, sometimes only 20 minutes. Reading the book, calling the family, telling them, hey, I'm back. I didn't crash. The day was good. Then you have massage. Talk to mechanics about what gears you would like for the next day, or what wheels you want to have. Or if something didn't work on the bike, you would tell them, hey, the shifting wasn't precise. Could you check on that? As I say, a little massage. Sometimes the osteopath comes and gets your head all straight again and cracks your neck. Dinner, try to have basically as much carbohydrates as you can have. There's days in a big stage race like the Tour de France or Giro d'Italia, there's days where you do burn that many calories that no matter what you eat, you finish a day with a deficit. You burn more than you actually with pure eating and digestion can put in. So you actually do have to eat as much as you can. And then, you successfully overload your belly and you can't sleep because your metabolism is just working so much. So then, chat with the people. I like reading a lot or, talking with teammates. And then, about 10:30ish, sometimes 11, you go to bed. Call the family one more time, ask how the kids are doing, if they're all in bed and sleeping. So, a few moments we can read a little bit or relax a little bit, but to keep you busy.
Cool. Okay, so you mentioned the team meeting and the strategy and who gets to do what when. What if you're the one picked and you're not feeling great that day? You don't find out until it's your turn to make that attack. Like if you're supposed to take off in the first hour and cover the brakes or attack, what if you're not actually able? Is there a 911 that you guys have on your race radios that you say, I'm not on today, can somebody else pick up my slack?
Fortunately, in my 18 years as a pro, probably 17 years, I never had that problem. When you told me, catch the break in the first hour, I did all the time I needed to. But just by the law of nature, or the body slows down. And then getting 41, 42 years old, it was getting a little harder to actually do the job. Sometimes you already feel in neutral zone. This is not my day. Or sometimes already when you basically cruise down almost like walking speed to the sign-on before the race, and you already feel then, oh, this is not my day. So you talk to your teammates and say, hey, look, I think we need to change the plan a little bit today. But normally everybody that comes to races knows his job, knows, okay, that's what they expect of me, and we train, we work for that. So normally we are ready. We did not have it too often that somebody couldn't come up to the challenge or couldn't live up to his job.
Now, as ordinary people, we see a mountain pass or 2 mountain passes if we go for a ride, and some people find Gatineau Park tough. But if you go over to Europe and you're riding through the Alps, 1 mountain pass, 2 mountain passes. That's a big day for a lot of people. What do pro cyclists and what do you think when you see 5 mountain passes and an uphill stage finish? And that's just today, and you got to do it again tomorrow. Like, do pro cyclists say like, oh, crap?
Of course we do. I mean, it depends on what team you're in, what are your goals. You know, sometimes you look forward for the mountains to actually put the pain on others and help your leader to you know, look good. But I remember the first years with Craggy, we had for some years, we didn't have a GC leader. So we were just Craggy, we were a team just for the breakaways and stages, right? And then Roger Leger, our team manager, who had then the team meeting. I guess most of you people speak French. So we would like hit the first mountain stage, he would take the Tour de France race book, close it, hop, and go, nous, on a vacances maintenant. C'est la vacance, c'est la montagne, on ne peut plus gagner ici, c'est la vacance, 3 jours, il faut récupérer, dans le putain montagne. No, it's not possible to recover. I said, non, vous va récupérer, 3 jours après, je vais ouvrir le livre de Tour de France, et on recommence. And then we go to the mountains and try to survive day by day. We hit the first flat stage, Roger comes to the team bus, opens the book and okay, nous, on va commencer aujourd'hui. So, but in other teams with Bjarne, it was more like opposite. He said, okay, you guys on the flats, I don't want to see you, I want you to save energy and to stay safe. Our work starts when the tour hits the mountains. That's where I need you fresh, ready, and without crashes, because that takes energy out of your body. So in that team then, we try to be more or less invisible without losing time. On the flat stages in the mountains, then we had sometimes pretty sophisticated plans. I remember one day we said, okay, we're gonna have somebody in the break. The best would be Cancellara. And then Fabian actually is a really reliable teammate. When he got his head around it, you can count him 100%. And so he made it in a breakaway. I said, okay, Jens, we need you to pull that Tourmalet. Yep, Tourmalet. Pull the Tourmalet as hard as you can. And on top, we will call Fabian from the breakaway back to you, and he will wait for you on the top. So all we want is the 20 kilometers Tourmalet, go full gas. So I did, and I was on a good day. I brought the group down to maybe 25 riders. And the top Fabian waited, and if you ever want to see a gifted descender, it's Cancellara. So I said, Fabian, I'm twice your age. Not too crazy for me, not too crazy. And he was good. He is like some people go great on a descent because they are daredevils, they fearless. But Fabian is in control. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he takes like a soft, ideal line. You know, he's not fighting with the descents. He just knows what he's doing. So if you trust him, you can follow him his line. So we went down in the valley, and then we just went like flat out, swapping off him and me until the finish climb, where then the Steckbars and Carlos Dastra, I think, basically put in the groundwork to win the Tour de France for Carlos later that year. So we had that plan of, okay, we're going to Fabian in the break, later he's going to wait for us. We need the rest of the boys to pull as hard as he can, then you reunite on the top, work together, and you know, make basically everybody suffer as much as we can, make him tired for the last climb. And so there actually we look forward to the mountains, because we finally do our job. We could go out and work.
Awesome. Now you mentioned riding with Fabian. There's a couple ladies in the right there pointing down. They want to know what it's like to ride with him behind him.
Well, so you know, that's a wedding ring. So I'm married. So riding behind Fabian is maybe less exciting for me. But I must say, I had the honor to do team time trials with Fabian. And team time trial must be, except if you are Fabian, the most nerve-wracking thing you can imagine, because you know there's no way in hell that you can come up to his level, right? So you don't want to let him down. You want to be as strong as you can, but you also don't want to make him crash or crash yourself in the team time trial. And you go, okay, if I have a bad day and I'm going to be dropped after a mile, it's going to be tough for me. And Fabian never had to face this problem, because he's just the king of the world. That's just, you know, he's just given or gifted. I remember at one time tour of Germany, I did like a bonus sprint, and with 1 second I had the yellow jersey, and so we went into the race last team. And so Fabian is working, and he was just so strong. And I remember that one descent, like a TT bike or a triathlon bike, they don't steer as good, right? They don't corner as well. Did you people know that a TT bike is not as good? And Fabian is just going down this descent with, I guess, 80 miles an hour. He's just like, you know, I don't know, from here to back there, ahead of me. I'm like, Fabian, easy! I look back, the rest of the boys are another 50 meters behind me. And he's just fearless. And then in the last 3 kilometers, he's pulling, I was second. And I said, please Fabian, don't pull off, don't pull off. He was just like a motorbike. He was like 60 miles an hour, just powering on him. Please don't pull off, I can never hold this speed. Please keep going. It is like the whole thing, it's frightening, it's fascinating, it's intimidating, it's inspiring to be in the same team as Fabian. It is unbelievable with Fabian, how strong he is. You can see sometimes when he gets on the bike, sometimes you just riding to the start and you can see basically the class come out of each pore of his body. He can only be himself, nobody else can be him today. You can see almost the aura of just like class, and he's like just a different level. The only thing that helped me there is like, you look up, they go, no, I'm never going to reach that level. Two look then, oh, thank God, there's a few behind me. Also. You just shoot yourself. You see that he's so much better than you. No, Fabian is a good guy. Plus, he's a pretty funny guy every now and sometimes. He's a pretty good guy. I told the story today at lunch, like we do in Giro Italia. One of them really hard series, there's no control, people attack left, right, in the middle, no team can take charge of it. So we come to the team was like completely naked. Oh, that's a British word. But like tired, naked. And we just all sit in our seats and like try to catch our breath. Fabian apparently felt really fresh, jumps in the shower, comes out, and then the bus driver's responsibility is not only to fill up the bus, make sure the bus is clean and functioning, he also washes the towels for the shower in the bus, right? Our buses, I mean, they're pretty big, we have a shower in there. So we take a shower, Fabian comes off the shower and goes, Danny, the towels are not soft enough. We were just happy to survive the day. And he was concerned about the mean, rough towels like scrubbing the skin. Go on. So Fabian is such, he's a legend. I mean, you just gotta love him. You just gotta love him. Or Tour de France 2007, I think. Started in London. So we have like, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000 people on Trafalgar Square to sign on. And then Fabian comes up there with his time for champion jersey and goes, live there, you know, millions of people on TV, 100,000 people live there. Yeah, I guess I'm going to win tomorrow. I'm going to show the boys how it has to be done. And then of course he wins. You know? So Fabian is not only doing the talk, but he also walks the walk. You know, he is the best. I was so happy that he was on our team. How many times he saved our behind? How many times? You can always count on him.
Okay, so the next question is for the opposite of the ladies over there. What's it like to beat Fabian Cancellara?
Oh, I had a good one there.
That's what it's all about.
That 1 year, I finished second in Tour of California behind Levi Leipheimer. And basically it was decided Levi won the TT, I was second in TT, and Fabian was 3 or 4 in the time trial in May. Like a couple of months or months later, we go to Tour de Suisse, and we got different bikes, and so different handlebars, like a newer type of bike. I looked at my handlebars and said, oh man, that looks like, you know, Eo Tourist rider here. And I said, Fabian, just to remind you, my friend, you might be world champion, but this year, I actually did beat you in a time trial, so it's 1-0 to me. So, and if you look at that, you could see, and of course he ended up winning the prologue and the time trial. I'm down 2-1. But there's 1 second, Fabian went like, but of course then the same day he ended up winning the prologue in really impressive style. So I think I only had 1 time I was actually a little bit faster than him.
Hold that one over. So going back an awful long time, not an awful long, but what actually got you into cycling? And what has kept you going aside from the fact that it's a paycheck?
Well, going back awful long of time, just to make you guys laugh at my expenses, my younger teammates, in the end, and some of them had half my age, I think they once came up with that plan to actually make fun out of me, and then they sort of like teamed, like they ganged up against me, sort of like trying to lead the conversation to that point, and then one of them asked, so Jens, are you responsible for the extinction of the mammals? Were you around back then? Did you have a part of that? I mean, 4,000 years ago. You know, like 3 or 4 of the young punks, you know, in training camp, we had nothing to do, so they came with the plan, you know, we're gonna rub it into Yancy for being old. So all for a long time, yes. But
I'm older.
really? Thank you. I actually paid him to say that. I'm gonna buy a new beer with that. So what got me into cycling? I was 9 years old and I was a troublemaker. Yes, I was. I think I actually caused quite often some trouble. I just had too much energy. School back then was fairly easy, so I understood what the teachers wanted to tell, and then when you started repeating, I was bored and then distracted, and I tried to distract other people who talked to me. And so then one day he came to my parents and said, "Dear Mrs. Voigt, your son has too much energy. He needs to do some sport to burn his energy." Fortunately, back then, I mean, I'm born in East Germany, so behind the Iron Curtain. Or how he told us, we were in front of the Iron Curtain, and you guys were locked out on the bad side of the world. That was your official school world here. All the mean people were locked behind the Iron Curtain to protect us, you know, from the rest of the world. It's funny how, you know, the winner tries to write the history. Fortunately, back then, he didn't have those modern words, so he said, "I'm a wild child." Today, if I would be the same child today, they would diagnose me with at least 5 different mental defects. ADHD, and what do I know? They would send to therapies and give me medication until actually I would turn hula baloo. But back then, he said, "Hey, he's a wild child, maybe do some sport, easy." So that's how I started. Then I trained for about 3 weeks, entered my first race and won it, and then, of course, you're a 10-year-old boy, somebody gives you a free bike, you win your first race, yeah, you're hooked.
Yeah, I think all of us could understand that one. So now that you're retired, how does your family like having you around? Because you're at home all the time now, except today.
Well, sometimes we have these moments of like clarity, and honesty, and so like I think we were like going to the movies, my wife and me. And we just looked at each other and we must have thought about the same thing. We're like, retirement. I think you should still look for a job where you travel a little bit. But from traveling so much to be at home all the time, it's just asking for trouble, you know? Just, you know, the friction just goes bigger and bigger and bigger until something has to give way and it goes bam. And I mean, there's a lot of athletes, they get separated or divorced in the first year in retirement. I mean, it seemed to be like not common, but it should be a problem that's there. At least we knew about it, that there's a risk for that. But so I still travel enough that I'm not always getting on the nerves of my kids. But clearly, my wife had her life organized, you know, and I would be coming in every now and then, and now I'm home more often. And then I said, why don't we do it like that? And she goes, well, we did it for the last 20 years this way, so no, we're not going to change. Yeah, but it would be much more logic to do it this way. No, it's not. It just functions this way. So, but hey, I'm a modern man, and I know that she's the boss, so hey. You know, if she says we do it that way, I go, yes, ma'am. But also, maybe it's a moment, I really have to say my wife is the best thing that could happen to me. 50, 60, 80, or 100% of my career, I owe to her. She had my back, you know? She had my back. I mean, she raised 6 children, and I was traveling. She gave me the chance to travel the world, to explore the world. And she was always there, you know, and she always supported me, and she never complained, said, oh, you should be more home. I remember when my professional career started. In '97, I was in a smaller second division team. Well, now we call it Pro Continental or whatever. And I could have signed for a German team for about, I think something like $100,000 maybe, smaller team. So I would stay in Germany, get $100,000 a year, and would do easier, smaller races. Or I had the offer to go to a bigger team, for what we call the French team, but they offered me $17,000 in a year before taxes. 17,300, I think. Yeah. And my wife said, well, if it's important to you, then you believe in yourself, go to France. So we had to give up the apartment we had back then because it just didn't have enough money. So my wife and my son, Mark, my oldest son, who was already born then, moved back, and my wife moved back into her parents' house. And then I lived in France for a year, fortunately, had a good year, get a better contract, then I could rent a little house down there where the family could come. But she always supported me, or that bad crash in 2009. Of course she wanted me to stop after that. I mean, I almost lost my life, right? But she goes, look, I can see it's still, you don't want to stop like that. So you know what I want, you know what I think, but if it's important for you, go ahead, I'll be there. So I was lucky to find my wife. She is just the right, perfect match for me. Yes, it is.
So with 6 kids, you must have been home enough.
You know, with the 6 kids, I always say, it's always dark, it only lasted 4 seconds. What would I know about that? I don't remember any of that. I think my wife and me just a really good combination. I just go, honey, I love you, and we have another child.
I'm sure that's the way it works. If you could, would you go back to racing? Or are you happy with current life?
Well, if I would go back to racing, I would also ask to be 10 years younger. In my age, no. I realized with each child or each bad crash, I went a little more careful, a little more slow on the downhills. I did brake a little bit too much, so you have to make it up with energy, right? If you brake too much, you have a gap, and you got to pedal harder to close that gap. No, I simply, I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. I just wouldn't be good enough anymore. I mean, physically, the body would have been good enough to go until this year. I could have done 2 more years until 45 just by pure leg power, but my head wasn't into it so much. I didn't want to travel and suffer anymore, taking risk of downhill, fighting for positions. And the last thing I wanted, I hope I'm allowed to say I had a long and good career. The last thing I wanted is to finish too late and have the young kids pointing fingers at me behind my back and going, oh, look at the old man, he should have stopped years ago. I didn't want that, just out of respect for myself. I wanted to be fully operational until the last day on my bike. And also I wanted to be the one that decides when to stop. I'm a big fan of the theory that you hold your destiny in your hands. You shape your fate, you shape your life. And the last thing you want is that the team director goes, Jens, we really like you, but we just don't have a contract for you anymore. That would be so hard to take. So I think, I said, okay, I'm going to do one more good year. I finished on a good note. I was lucky enough to find the hour record, so I could finish my career with that. And I'm happy that it's done. I mean, it was great, but no, I don't think I should go back. And comebacks, they hardly ever work out great. Can you imagine the greatest of all, Wayne Gretzky, has a comeback tomorrow? No, Wayne, please, no. Right? He's the greatest, but he doesn't need a comeback. He's already the greatest. You want to be the greatest? No. You know, I had my days in the sun, my days in the spotlight, and my crashes, and my good days and bad days, and no, I'm perfectly happy the way it is now.
Right? You jumped ahead on me on one of my points here, but you rode the World Hour record, September 2014. You rode an incredible 51.11 kilometers per hour. That's faster than anybody. That's faster than anybody in history. And I don't, none of us have done anything else that somebody has never done before. But unfortunately, 42 days later, Matthias Bramble broke your record. I mean, what do you have to say to him?
Well, good that you bring that up because, okay, the hour record I did the day after my birthday. I was 43 years old. And even though I was maybe the fittest 43-year-old cyclist in the world that day, I was under no illusion I'm going to have that forever. I was at least hoping to have it until Christmas. Right? Matthias Brandler, who then went next, he wrote me a letter to apologize that he's going to attack. Said, Jens, I know you want to have it longer, but look, I have to go before Bradley Wiggins comes. I have no chance. So he wrote a letter to me to sort of apologize almost. So I cannot see one single bad word to him. He's a really good kid. He broke the record. He was stronger. There's nothing I can say. He was just a little bit better than me.
That's fair enough. If you had not become a cyclist, what do you think you would be doing?
There's 2 options. The good option is I would be trying to become David Attenborough. I would be making animal documentaries for whatever, Discovery Channel. The other option is I maybe would be the main character of Grand Theft Auto. So hopefully I would have decided for the better option, I guess.
I think you made the right choice as a cyclist. What is the wackiest thing you ever noticed during a race? Aside from the devil running up the side.
Well, that's easy. No, not easy, but I think I signed a picture when I went up LPS in a Team Leopard kit. No, another one. This one there, yes. 2011. So I delivered the Schleck brothers and Carlos Sastre into LPS, right? So I'm working hard through the valley, the climbs before into the valley, get them in a good position, we fight out the yellow jersey and whatever, stage runs, whatever you want. And so I'm dropped, my job is done, I'm dropped, I've tried to recover a little, as good as possible on the uphill, so I'm going up LPS, dropped from the first group, the peloton is not there yet, so I'm all by myself, looking down in my little dream world, tired, you know, just thinking about the food I'm gonna have in a minute, how happy I will be when I reach Paris. Suddenly I hear this voice, don't laugh yet, it gets better. There's 2 steps to this joke. Suddenly I hear this voice, Jens, I love you, I want your child. Don't laugh yet. I look over, 55-year-old man with a big black beard and belly like that. He had this jersey open, big hairy chest, 55 years old, and he goes, Jens, I love you, I want your child. So I had to laugh. I was really tired after like 2.5 weeks of Tour de France, but I really had to laugh at that one.
That's a good one. So within the peloton, there's got to be a lot of different personalities out there. What's the best prank you ever saw played on a fellow cyclist, by a cyclist?
I like when the guys in the Gruppetto, like Roy McHugh and Peter Sagan, they're in the Gruppetto and they cross the line in a wheelie. Right? You think you were all tired, but then they just pull a wheelie. But I had a pretty good one too. The first thing came to my mind with Andy Schleck together. We start the stage of the Tour de France on the bottom of in San Francisco, on the bottom of the Golden Gate Bridge. So we have a long neutral to the Golden Gate Bridge, and after the Golden Gate Bridge, the race starts, right? So I'm in the neutral zone, 5, 6, 7 kilometers, so we go really slow. And I go, oh, I left my phone in my jersey, right? Because I took a picture from the Golden Gate Bridge and myself like selfie like a tourist. So I'm like, hey Andy, I got my phone in my pocket. You know what we do? We call the team director and pretend we missed the start. So I'm on the Golden Gate Bridge, and I go and I ring the team director Gallo, and I said, Gallo, where are they? He said, but the race started. Where are you? I said, I'm at the start line. I cannot see anybody. There's no signs. Where do we have to go? Said, oh, I gotta call the race director. We gotta finish the race. And he was stressing so much. Like we were laughing, like literally, we were laughing so hard about it. I said, nah, to kick out. Just come to the back of the peloton. I give you my phone. I'm on the bridge. And he thought I'm at 5 miles back and had to chase them.
So you mentioned your kids. Do they ride as well?
Well, maybe not everybody knows my wife, and we have 6 children. And in this modern day and age, I always like to add no patchwork. My first and only wife. So we have all the 6 kids together. Mark is 20, Julian soon 17, Adriana is 12, Kim Helena is 10, Maya 8, and little Helen just turned 5. And yeah, Helen has energy. I think she got my temper. We should try to steal some food from her. So my oldest son, he did a long time basketball. Then he switched to lacrosse actually, which apparently is the national sport of Canada. Yeah. But I think most Canadians would go, it's ice hockey, right? Yeah. But apparently officially lacrosse is the national sport. So he plays lacrosse for a long time now. The team is called Blacks, Berlin Lacrosse. And I just saw him at a match before I came here, the last weekend before I came here. Julian, he did ride his bike for about 5 years. But just this winter he went, you know, that waking up on a Sunday at 6, driving to a bike race, then I do my race, I wait for the other age groups to finish, I come back home, I be home at 7, the whole day is gone, nah, I don't want it. As a father, I'm okay, I'm kind of happy with it, because I still have a titanium screw in this hand, and I don't know if you guys can see this knuckle here, it's never going to be 100%, I'm never going to be able to really move this index finger like really in a good way. So I know how dangerous the sport is, so I'm I'm okay that he's not on the road anymore. He did track and field running before. He's fairly good at middle distance running. You know, on the running track, the hardest thing can happen is you twist your ankle. You know, on the road, on a training ride. So, as a father, I'm okay. But the cyclist in me goes, oh, I saw the potential. I saw the way he was sitting on the bike, the pedals throw. I could see he got the potential. He got some talent. As I mentioned before, I won my first race. When my son picked up cycling, he won his first race as well. It was such a magic moment for me. It was one of them Sunday mornings in the winter, a mountain bike race, and like basically nobody of his team was there, just the old coach, Julian and me. So it was this like perfect father-son moment. And we didn't know at first if he won because he had to started to race with 3 different age groups. So there were kids all over the place, and you wouldn't really know which kid belongs in which age group. And it turned out he won the race, and it was such a special moment for me to be there with my son. He won the first race just like me 30 years ago. So the cyclist in me goes, oh, it's a pity, I saw the potential, but you can't force him, he has to want it, right? We encourage our children to pick up the sport because my wife and we both believe that only in a healthy body lives a healthy mind. So we try to make them do sports, also learn lessons about life. You win together, you lose together, you help each other in the good and in the bad times. You learn some valuable lessons in sports, but whatever sport you want to pick, you can do whatever you want. The girls try the horse riding, field hockey, not ice hockey, but field hockey, hip-hop dancing, tennis, so they try the whole bunch of different things.
That's great. What's the one tip you'd pass along to an aspiring cyclist?
To a young one?
Young one.
Okay, young one.
40.
Well, if you're grown up and you want to start, I would say know your limits and don't want too much too quickly, because you go out too hard, you injure yourself, you overtire yourself, and you get frustrated and you stop doing what you wanted to do. For the young kids, it's 3. One is self-belief beyond reason. Don't let anybody talk you down. You are great, you are special, you're gonna make it. Self-belief. Second, no shortcuts. Cycling, there's no teammates, they would put the basket in there or they would shoot the puck into the game, into the goal. It's you. If you stop pedaling, you're gone. No shortcut, it's a working sport. Third, the 3 words with W. Never forget who helped you when you were a little child. I mean, like someone like Fabian Cancellara, he has 1 million friends. But who were his friends when he was 8 years old? They are the real friends. So who helped you? Where did you come from? And what made you be successful? A lot of hard work. If you don't forget the 3 words with W, you're pretty good for life.
That's great. So, we'll lighten it up a little bit. What's your favorite beer?
Favorite beer? There's a tiny little brewery, no, not that tiny, around the Dresden region, Wernesgrüner. And there must be something in the water there. The beer turns out really mild. It's just like really nice beer on a warm day. You don't really want to get drunk, you just want to like have a nice easy beer at Wernesgrüner. Apart from that, I do like Coronas, because you can find them everywhere and they are everywhere the same quality. You always know what you get. But then I also go with the local knowledge. I had, like when I go to Wisconsin, where Trek has the main office, Spotted Cow. They have there, it's local, Spotted Cow, good beer. Then I went to Florida and they had something called Funky Buddha. I like the name, so I had to try that one. And then somebody mentioned a beer today, I can't remember the name, also like a local one. Can you remember what the beer I had today for lunch?
Voigt?
Yes, Kitchen City, yeah. So I try also like to be open to like some local colors and try to widen my horizon. I like to experiment a little bit.
What's your favorite place to ride?
Well, if money is no subject, I would say South Africa. It's beautiful. They say it's a world within a country, and that is so true. If you go a little further north, where the Kruger Park is in the mountains there, Transvaal, it's just spectacular. If you want to go a little closer, around Lake Tahoe. And have anybody ever been in Lake Tahoe? I mean, you take one turn in a corner, you go, whoa, postcard shot. 100 meters further, you go, whoa, postcard shot. It is unbelievable. It just keeps getting better and better and more spectacular. So Lake Tahoe is pretty beautiful.
Okay. What's your favorite race?
The one I just finished, I guess. Favorite race? I guess I would have to say Criterium International. I won it 5 times. So I think
that's pretty good.
That suited me. It was just a short, vicious one, like 3 stages squeezed into 1 weekend. Plus you had the daylight savings, so you lose 1 hour of sleep. But because my only talent I had was my desire to win, and I had a big engine, like a big motor I could suffer for a long time. I was never a special sprinter, special time trialer, special climber. So everything that made a race really mean, nasty, sticky was good for me. Right? So and that was one of them. Like you squeeze, 3 races into 1 weekend, you lose 1 hour of sleep. People were already like, oh, Sunday morning you start almost at the dark in darkness still, and then like some cold raindrops coming down, and they were like, oh, this race is shit, this sucks. yes. So yeah, I guess we become a national. Not the nicest race, but it just suited me.
What's your favorite workout?
Favorite workout? Well, back in East Germany, we just used to go long and slow. But I mean, if you're professional, you had to do a lot more intervals. So Bjarne came up with a whole bunch of different ones. We had one called sitting standing, where you would start 1 minute sitting, 1 minute standing, 2 minutes sitting, 2 minutes standing, 3 minutes sitting, 3 minutes standing, and then down 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 1. I think it's 30 minute. We try to do that with 90 reps, if you can, 100 on the uphill. So you ever try to be out of the seat uphill with 100 reps per minute? So RPM. So by the time, like when you sit down with 90 or 100 reps, that's still doable, but when you get out of the seat, your heart rate skyrockets. So it's a really tough effort, but you feel how you improve with it. It trains your body to absorb the change of rhythm and races. So that's a good one. Or another one, 40-20s. You would go 40 seconds pretty hard on the climb with 80 pedal strokes per minute, 20 seconds recovery, and 40 seconds again. And then you start with 2 times 5 of them. Later you can do it. I mean, sometimes in a full season, we went to like 3 times 10 of that. And you're supposed to finish the last one that you just can make it. If you are still too easy after the last one, you went too easy. If you can't hold the watts on the last one, you went too hard at the beginning. And they also help you pretty much to increase your shape. Not easy, but they work.
No shortcuts. So for all the spinning instructors out here, I expect to see that one in your eyes next week. So you have shut up legs as a Jensen. There's lots of those out there. Do you have a favorite other one aside from shut up legs?
I had one. I am more for Jens Voigt. More for. I cannot really say the word. I once had a couple, like a young couple from South Africa, showing up at a bike race at the front stage with a shirt where they have written, "Hey, I am Jens Voigt." And he said, I said, "Oh, that's a pretty daring shirt." And he said, "You wouldn't believe the first 2 companies denied to print that." So the third company said, "Well, I don't care if you want that, I print it for you." But the first 2 companies said, "No, we don't print it on the shirt." I like the one that goes, I get paid to hurt other people. How good is that for a job? I get paid after other people, and people tap you on the shoulder, "Hey, that was a good job today." And that is good. So we get paid to release all your demons and let it all out there. So I like that one.
Good. Who's your favorite teammate to ride with or for? You spoke highly of Cancellara. Is there anybody higher than him?
Well, I like the Schleck brothers. They're always good fun. Andy is good fun. Yeah.
Favorite tunes? Top three favorite songs.
Top 3 favorite songs.
Spin class.
Gotta be Metallica, Unforgiven. Ugly Kid Joe, Goddamn Devil. And probably like something softer, Queen with Who Wants to Live Forever.
Okay. Your favorite innovation in cycling?
Really the index shifting. That changed cycling so much. It made it easier, safer, just made our life a lot easier. The index shifting, that's index shifting, right? Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
That's for English. Every now and then I keep missing a few words.
Your favorite roommate?
Oh, that would be not Andy, because Andy was chaotic. Holy smokes. Like you would enter a room, and by the time I say we enter the room, that is what, 2 seconds? Andy's suitcase would explode. There would be stuff off the lamps on the ceiling. I've never seen anything like that. It looked like there's 15 people living in there for months. Unbelievable. One time we shared a room in Cologne. So then Andy goes first in the shower, gets ready, gone. So I take a shower, I want to shower, I go, okay. Suitcase, ticket, passport, phone, where's my wallet? Like, oh. So I ripped up my suitcase, emptied everything, where's the wallet? Then like, wait, I was rooming with Andy. So I called Andy. Hey Andy, I already could hear him laughing. The second I said, hey Andy, do you have my wallet? I already could hear him laughing. So he said, oh, it's a wallet, it must be mine. I said, no Andy, this part of the room is mine. I try to keep it halfway in order. This part is yours. If my wallet is on that side, it's mine. So favorite roommate would be Bobby Juliet, because we had so much in common. You know, talk about children and talk about whatever politics and our point of view about different things in the world. We had a lot of things in common, the same age. So Bobby Juliet was my favorite roommate.
Aside from someone that you can out-sprint, who's your favorite breakaway partner? Someone you know you can beat. So there's got to be somebody else up there.
Well, you cannot always pick it. Sometimes they are pretty good, so you're not sure. But yeah, you would hope it's somebody that's just dedicated. Like probably the best would be a young kid from a smaller team, because they are so happy to be out there to show the jersey for the sponsors, that the first thing, okay, I'm on a break, I'm going to be TV, grandma and mama, daddy going to see me, and then they don't think about maybe they want to win in the end. But I had groups where I went in a group and I went like, geez, I'm the worst rider in this group. And then you got to come up with a plan to how you want to beat them.
Okay. Where is your least favorite place to ride? Aside from Gatineau or Quebec.
I guess the cobblestones. I did Paris-Roubaix twice. I finished it once, finished on the track, so I could tick that box, but I was just never in love. Paris-Roubaix is the best race ever to watch on TV. You know, like got some cookies and coffee, or maybe beer and the hot dog. It's just the best race to watch on TV, because it's just so spectacular. But to be in there, you feel like a gladiator going to the arena. My first year I did it. We did the recon of the circuit, and so we went to the first Paris section. Then I stopped the bus a day. You're doing a practical joke on me because I'm a stupid neopro. There's no way we can ride on this. And, no. Today is Wednesday. You will see on Sunday we race here. I'm like, nah, you're just making fun out of me. And fair enough, we did race on that road. So the Paris, as tough as it looks on TV, it's a lot worse in reality. It's unbelievable. So that would be the least favorite part. Okay?
What's your least favorite innovation in cycling? People keep coming up with ideas for new things. What's the most useless one?
No, not really. I mean, sometimes you're a little critical, but most of them turn out pretty good. Maybe that's why it's forbidden. The spinacci, the little handlebar tensions where people would then lay their hands on a normal road race. Can you imagine 150 people in a road race in a peloton? They all have their hands away from the brakes, but laying up there. It caused a lot of crashes because you just couldn't react. You had to like get your hands off that little spinacci thing to the brakes, and then like that split second was often enough to actually, you couldn't avoid the crash anymore. So I think maybe then.
Who is your least favorite breakaway partner, or what would that person be like? Your least favorite? The one who can't do any work along the way? Just hanging on? Can't get rid of? And then you say, go.
Well, at least, yeah, people they don't want to be there. People they don't want to be there, or people they try to play smart, right? I like him a lot, you know, but like we still laugh at it. Michael Matthews is a cool guy, really good bike rider. 1 year in Tour of California, he was still very young and like upcoming rider. He was just like a young wild kid. And the last stage, I was going in a break, and then I do like a mile or whatever, 1, 2, 3 kilometers, like full gas to make the break. I see one rider's behind me, right? So I go, like, you know, hey, come. And he didn't. I said, okay, give the guy a break. I keep pulling to first make the break. And then I look back, it's Michael Matthews, you know, like 18 and a half years old. And he looks at me and I could see in his face, like, don't hit me, but I don't want to be here. Look at here. And he said, look, Jan, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me to follow your wheel. I'm an idiot. I'm going to get dropped anyway. Just go, you know. I said, yeah, that's okay. Just sit there and I keep riding. Then a few more people came across. We had a good breakaway. I said, look, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be here. And I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I'm going to get dropped anyway. So please don't be mad at me. We still laugh at this stuff. We still go, oh, don't bring that up again.
Do you have any pre-race superstitions or rituals?
I would always put the right number on first. We get the superstitions, and I would always have the right number on, put them on first, and then the left number. So maybe that was my superstitious. Okay. But I wasn't too superstitious in my life or my career.
Well, you guys race so much, it's pretty hard to have a ritual for all the different races all over the place with your travel schedules. That's
true. I remember Eric Zabel, for example. He, after a bad crash he had, he blamed it that he crossed underneath the bridge where a train was crossing on top of him. And after he had a bad crash. So from that on, he stopped. If a train, the peloton approaches the bridge and he sees a train, he would stop on the right side of the road, like all the time. He would make no exceptions there. And then try to chase back to the group, or yeah, it was just this thing. He said, no, there's no way. I crashed after I passed the bridge with the train going on top of me, and he never ever did that in the race.
Wow, okay. What does your off-season consist of? What did it consist of, and what does it now? Because you're mostly off.
Well, time off, of course. We always try to time it at end of October or the first week of November. The kids have 2 weeks school holiday. So then in the summer I was always gone to Tour de France and other races, so I couldn't really go on a holiday. And if I would go on holiday with the kids, I would still need to train because Tour de France is coming up. So then we'd always try to finish the season right the day when we had the school holidays of the children, so then we could, as a family, all together go somewhere. So then, yeah, you just, I mean, your wife got a few things she wants you to do around the house, you know, fix this, fix that, and you know, working on that, trying to do some fun stuff with the kids when you're back home in Berlin. And then you start a little bit with running and swimming to do a little bit of different sport than just cycling all the time. But then you're back training.
So how long would that last, your actual off-season?
When I was younger, 2 weeks was enough, and then I was itching to go back, and also my wife went, hey, you seem to be restless. Why don't you go out and sweat a little bit? And then later I took 3 weeks off and had 1 week of just a little bit of running or weightlifting or you know, just different sports to get out of this, bent over position, like to give your back a little chance to actually straighten up a little bit.
Last question for the night. You have an autobiography out?
Yes, we just finished it. I think, not I think, I know, it's in the print now.
That was the question.
It's with Rodale Publishing. They do a bicycling magazine, for example. And that was a long process, holy smokes. I think it like 1.5 years we worked on it. So it's an English-only book, and it's going to be out start of May. And yeah, we have publisher and rights and partners for the US. Canada for sure as well. We have a partner in the UK. Sometimes it's tricky, like UK is not England, and England is not, Wales, it's all different, yeah. But then again, you probably know with the Quebec and the Canada thing, it's all seems to be sometimes a little bit of a touchy subject, as far as I can see from the other side of the ocean. And we have a partner for Australia and South Africa, so yeah, English-only book, and yeah. We're probably not going to win a Nobel Prize with it, but I think it's an easy, nice, fun read. Good pictures in there. There's pictures of me when I'm, I guess, 5 or 6 years old, like all black and white. You want to be laughing and then go, oh, look at that.
That's great. Well, thank you very much on behalf of everybody. Thank you very much for So I'm just going to pass the microphone back to Dave here, and he's going to make a few announcements.
Okay, Jens is going to join us back in the bike area by the Trent flag, but while we have him up here, we're really happy to host him in Ottawa, and we thought we'd send him back to Berlin tomorrow with a few mementos from his visit to Ottawa. So we've got something for the kids as well as for Jens. So first of all, from Ottawa, we have a book on Ottawa. Jens has already seen a lot of Ottawa on his run, but there's a book for the rest of it that you didn't see. And wouldn't be a trip to Canada if you didn't go back home with some maple syrup. And we saw on your Facebook page a couple of weeks ago, you took your kids to the Berlin Natural History Museum. They were all pretty impressed with the Tyrannosaurus. So for each of the children, we have a silver $20 coin, a Tyrannosaurus Rex special edition coin. And for you, we have a special sweatshirt from Canada. Go ahead and open it up. We hope it fits.
Wow, nice.
We had a model there.
A model?
We had a model. One of our lunch guests kindly tried it on. So. Voigt is an iconic Canadian symbol. They do the clothing for Canada's Olympic team. So just a Canadian brand. So.
Nice.
Awesome. You know, one of my childhood dreams is, well, we all have a million childhood dreams, right? But what I really like hanging on, is I want to spend one winter in a wooden cabin in the North Canada. As a child, I did so many adventure stories, and that's one of the things I really want to do. But little Helen is 5 years old, so I guess another 15 years I have to wait. But it's still, that's one of the things I really want to spend that one winter out there, just, no telephone, no radio, just 200 books, fishing, That's what I want to do one day.
We'll need a few more layers, but that will be a start. So, anyway, thank you very much.